Story: The Deceitful Girl and the Stone of Sorrow. There is a rich and noble family. They have a daughter and love her more than anything in the world. One night, the girl had a terrible dream. An old man with gray hair and a long beard that reached the ground appeared in front of her. The old man said, "You will be hungry for 7 years. No matter how much you eat, you will still feel hungry. Next, after 7 years, your child will be thirsty even though he still drinks enough water every day. For the next 7 years I had to serve a man who died in a cold house. Only after 21 years will happiness come to me and I will live in happiness for the rest of my life." The girl told her parents her dream in fear. A few days later she started feeling hungry. Her parents used all the money they had to buy rice for her to eat. They had to sell valuable jewelry until they went broke, but still couldn't save their daughter from hunger. The mother wandered with her daughter from city to city begging for food. 7 years of constant hunger tormented her and then passed. But they are not at peace yet. The mother and her daughter continued to wander everywhere asking for water. Because the daughter is always thirsty. Her thirst was terrible. No matter how much water she drank, it was still not enough. Even though rivers and streams provided her with water, she was still thirsty. 7 years of struggling with thirst passed. One day, mother and son went to a deserted desert far from villages and hamlets. They suddenly noticed a building, which looked like a king's palace. The building's gate was open, so the girl asked her mother to wait outside so she could go in and see. She entered, but the door closed behind her. Then her steps took her into a room. In the room there was a man, like a corpse lying on the bed. She suddenly realized that 7 years of thirst had passed and now the most terrible 7 years were coming. She had to take care of this man. She knelt down next to the dead man, washed him carefully and then sprinkled fragrant water around him. Then she took the dirty clothes to wash and dry. She does this job once every day. During that time, the man remained motionless, not once moving. The mother knew that this was her daughter's fate, so she returned to live in the nearest city to closely follow her daughter's work. Years of pain. Suffering is nearing its end. The girl was exhausted from her daily work and almost exhausted. Then one day she suddenly saw a beautiful young girl passing by. She called the girl to stop and threw a piece of rope to her, telling her to hold on and pull her into the house. From then on, the young girl helped take care of the man. One day, while in the next room, she suddenly heard the young girl talking to the man, whom she had been taking care of for a long time. He recovered after a 7-year-long sleep. The man's voice asked, "Are you the one who took care of me for the past 7 years?" The girl's voice replied, "Yes." The man's voice continued, "You have shared my suffering all these years. From today I will be freed from that suffering. You will be the queen in this house, my dear friend." The girl said, "I haven't been able to sleep these past few days." "Oh, so the days of suffering are over?" The man's voice asked, "Do you endure this pain alone?" The girl replied, "Actually, I have another maid. But she was an evil person." The girl heard their conversation and understood that after the suffering arranged by fate for the past 21 years, she was now deceived by this beautiful young girl. The wedding day of the man and the beautiful young girl approaches. The following days the poor girl worked under the young girl's orders. One day the man decided to go to the city to buy clothes for his family to prepare for the wedding day. So he also asked the maid in the house, who had suffered a lot, what she liked. He also invited her to stay and work in the house after his wedding day. The girl replied, "Dear boss, please bring me the stone of suffering." The boss had never heard of such a special stone, but he also promised to bring it back to the girl. After searching for so long, the boss finally found that stone. The friend told him that he knew his suffering, because this stone told everything. The man was very surprised and did not understand why the girl wanted to buy this strange stone. When he got home, he gave the stone to the girl and then hid behind the door to listen to the whole story the stone would tell. The stone begins to tell, "7 years of hunger have passed in my life, then the years of thirst, followed by the days of care." The story goes on and on and on and on. The stone also grew bigger. Suddenly the door opened, the man pushed the stone away and said to the girl, his voice emotional, "Why don't you tell me clearly that she only helped you in the last few days? Oh, are you the suffering girl? Fortunately, we finally know the truth. Only you are the one who brings me happiness for life." Then their wedding was held, the girl's mother and many guests attended. As for that evil young girl, she disappeared and was never seen again. The couple's life was happy forever. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.